Uh,
Welcome to Ask Lynn, everyone. And I'm honored and privileged to have Miss Erica Lynn of the Erica Lynn Speaks podcast. And I was lucky enough and blessed enough to be on her podcast as well. So now it's time for me to return the favor. And I'm going to let Miss Erica take it away.
Hi, Wynn. Thank you for having me on your podcast. It is such a pleasure to be with you once again, darling.
Yes.
And and I always have such a good time with you. It's not an interview; it's like visiting my old friend.
Oh, well, I'm honored that you feel like that. And Erica, would you please explain to my fan base more about what you do?
Okay. Well, as she said, my name is Erica Lynn, and I am a motivational speaker, a transformational coach. I'm also a podcast host, and I'm an author of the book called Seven Techniques of Healing, in which the Seven Techniques of Healing book went from a book to now an online group coaching program. And so, primarily, I help people
Jeez.
to deal with the issues that have been holding them back, preventing them from playing big in their life, and and fixing them, or getting a healing, or forgiveness, whatever it is that you need, but fixing that area. So being able to take you from stuck to unstuck, and accomplishing your dreams and your goals. Basically, a lot helping you play big in your life. Who doesn't want to play big? You want to play big, when?
I would love to play big, and this is what you do, and this is how you do it, and you play big all the time, Erica. I know this because I've listened to you speak, and I know this because I have actually listened to your podcast slash been on your podcast. So yes, I know your philosophies of playing big.
That's awesome.
And so my next question to you is, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book, when, is I have a lot of favorite books. Right now I am reading The Crushing, and that is by Bishop T.D. Jakes. This book shows you how life crushes you. I mean, through his examples of finding out that his 13-year-old daughter is pregnant, and he's a high profile bishop, through how he has been out here helping the world and could barely pay the bills, living check to check, unable to meet the payroll of his team. And so his book shows you how life, how you fear is in your mind, how the inability to meet payroll, the inability to pay your bills, but yet you're still walking in your purpose. You're still living your life goals and the dreams and the path that God has placed you on, and you're doing all of this through the adversity that you're facing. And so I like the book because it's real. Like, many people go through things in life on a day-to-day basis, and they just feel like, I just want to throw in the towel. I just want to quit. I can't do this. Why did I decide to take this job? Or what about the college students? Why did I sign up for college? I can't complete these 4 years. But in the reality of it all, no matter if you have enough money, no matter if you have all of the answers, if you don't quit on the path that God has placed you on, then you will go through it. And not only will you accomplish your goals, but the level of self gratification that you're going to feel, that you're going to gain from sticking on the process and going through the journey, is more rewarding than anything that you can ever ask for yourself. And even like with you, when regardless of what curves life has thrown you, you are one of the most powerful women I know.
Well,
Like, you did not let the adversities of life stop you. You've moved forward, wrote books, 1,000 episodes of podcasts. I know it's more than 1,000, but that's the number I can
Yeah.
come up with. But you just, you just saying, okay, I'm not going to let life run me. I'm going to run my life. I'm
No.
not going to run around life. I'm going to walk through my life and I'm going to walk on my life's purpose. And so that's one of the reasons why that book is so good to me and for a lot of people to read, because life does has a funny way of crushing you. But if you stand up and you fight that good fight, you can walk your walk too.
Yep. Exactly. Now, if your BFF had to write a book about you, what would the title be?
Uh Gone from crazy. Look, it'll probably be crazy to transformation.
Yep. And
Yeah.
what has been your favorite podcast episode you have done on your podcast that you think my team over at Ask Win should go listen to?
Okay. Well, I have more than one, but
Yeah, more than one.
okay. So the very first podcast that I did 3 years ago was with Pastor Leon McDonald III from the Winter Circle Church. And I asked him, would he come and be my guest? Not only was he my mentor and all of these other things, but I asked him to pray and, bless the platform that I have. And everybody's podcast usually you get probably about 500 views, if that. Well, when my first podcast with him had 5,000 views, 5,000, I was like, wow, because I put it on Facebook. And to this day, even new guests that I interview or people that go to my website to check out all the podcasts, they say, I've listened to that podcast with Pastor Leon. So they're still buying his book to this day. They say the podcast really blessed me. But what was the best part about that podcast that people don't know, and I can tell it to you, William? I was so nervous. I had never did camera, TV, anything before. And I used to go, hi, I'm Erica Lynn, and welcome to One Step Beyond You. And I was so nervous, right? And that's how I used to talk because I couldn't find my voice. So I like for people to hear how I started and to where I am now. God has finally blessed me to a place of finding my voice, and it shows people firsthand on how they too will go through their journey and to reach the goals that they are now. So that would be one of the best podcast episodes. My first podcast is called "Getting God Involved" with Pastor Leon
Yeah,
McDonald.
yes.
Yeah.
And then what is your second favorite?
So my second favorite will be one that I did. I'm actually doing a series on the 7 techniques of healing. So I did one doing the introduction of the 7 techniques of healing. And I want people to understand what the 7 techniques of healing is. And so that would be my second podcast choice. And just recently, we can't forget about the wonderful podcast I did with Win, Ask Win. That was a remarkable for me when we did our podcast interview, because you really touched my life. I don't think you realize how much you touched my life by um gaining friendship with you and hearing your story and allowing me to share your story on my platform. You were the precipice of me saying and knowing, no matter what I go through in life, that I can overcome it. I can fight through it. And if my goal is to go to the top, I can get there. All I have to do is just do one win at a time.
Yep, yep, yep. No pun intended, you guys. One win at a time. No pun intended. And so those are a couple of your favorite podcasts. and thank you for the honorable mention. But if you had to move and only take 5 things with you, and yes, your family could come, what would they be?
If I had to move and only take what?
5 things with you.
Mm, my courage. I would take um hmm, not people, but things, right?
People could come. People could
Okay.
come.
I would take my children. So that's three of them. Do they count as one?
They count as 3.
Okay. So my courage, my children. So that's four. And I would take my Bible.
Yep. Yep. Gotta throw the Bible in there because,
Yeah.
uh, yep, the
Yeah.
Bible is literally saving lives left, right, and center. Now, Erica, as we wrap this interview up, do you have any questions for me?
Yes. I want to know, with all the adversity that you faced, what was the number one factor that made you go on this path of writing books and starting podcasts? Did you know that you were going to change the world?
No, I knew in a sense, but I didn't know how. I knew in a sense that I was going to change the world, but I didn't know how I was going to change the world. And when I say I knew in a sense, you guys know I basically got the idea from my book while I was a guest in the ICU 10 years ago. I got the blessing from my biological mom to write the book, and I did that. I ha- it has now turned into 11 books, and I'm working on my 12th and working on my 13th book. And I did not know the little old I, comma, win would impact the world. I did not know my story would impact the world. And 10 years ago, since my life has changed since writing that book, but I did not know that my life story would impact the world.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that your story impacted the world because, as I said before, you made a great impact on me. And it was my pleasure being able to interview you and share you on my platform because you have touched many lives and mine included. And I'm sure you are touching your listeners' lives as well. And just continue to keep doing what you're doing, Win.
Will continue to doing what I'm doing. And Miss Erica, where can people find you, and where can people get a hold of you? And of course, where can people listen to your podcast?
Absolutely. If they can go to ericalynnspeaks.com, that's Erica with a C, not with a K. Lynn Speaks, SPEAKS.com. And you can go right on over to the podcast page. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all under Erica Lynn Speaks. And that's how you find me. And if you guys want to sign up for my monthly program, because there's a lot of people that want to work with me one-on-one, but some people perhaps want to work in a group setting, you can just go to the ericalynnspeaks.com and go to the One Step Beyond You signature program. We are signing up for that program today, and we would love to have you and show you how to play big in your life as well. So thank you, Wynn.
And one thing that you forgot to mention that I know is that you're doing a partnership in New Orleans, which I saw that on Facebook. So for those of you in that New Orleans area, go and get tickets to that because that will be fantastic in 2021.
Absolutely. Oh, I always forget to mention the album. And I did that motivational album
Yeah,
and
you
I
told
yeah, and I want you guys to listen to the album. It's on 150 platforms, but it's Never Give Up is the name of it, and it's by Erica Lynn. And so download it today. You're gonna love it. Motivating into your purpose is my favorite piece. It'll give you 8 steps into walking into your purpose. But you got some great beats and wonderful music that you can listen to while you're listening to those 8 steps. That's going to encourage you and really push you into your purpose. So there's no reason for you to let your limitations hold you back, but
no,
instead just take one step beyond yourself into your
one step
greatest
beyond
victory.
you, you guys. One
That's right.
step beyond you. And I am honored that Erica Lynn said yes. And please, please, please go support Erica Lynn. She's doing amazing work. And please go support books and albums and everything else. And just go one step beyond you, you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode of Ask Win. Thanks, see you guys. Bye, you guys.